Good evening, and thanks for keeping a date with us on the program Transforming Agriculture in Nigeria, a program that showcases the potentials of Nigeria's agricultural sector, as well as the efforts of stakeholders towards developing the sector. I'm your regular host, Gabriel Ojile. Rice is the most common staple food in Nigeria today. An average Nigerian eats rice 5 days in a week. This makes the local production of rice imperative for food security, amongst other indices. Tonight, the program will focus on the potentials of Nigeria in rice production and the policy direction of government towards actualizing this goal. Just sit back and watch.
Every part of Nigeria has something to offer.
The program kicks off with news from the diary of the Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security, her agencies, partners, and the agricultural sector as a whole. Keep watching.
To the glory of God and to the peace in the country.
The Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security on Thursday, 24th August 2023, launched a national aquatic animal health strategy for Nigeria, which will run from 2023 to 2027. This strategy is a comprehensive framework aimed at safeguarding the health and sustainability of aquatic resources.
As we are all aware,
delivering a keynote address, Permanent Secretary, Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security, Dr. Ernest Afolabi Umakihe, who was represented by Director of Fisheries and Aquaculture, Ime Umo, said this achievement represents a major milestone in the nation's commitment to the well-being of the aquatic ecosystem. He added that the implementation of this strategy would minimize the impact of negative pathogens and enhance resilience of both marine and terrestrial ecosystems within the country.
as we are all aware, aquatic animal disease outbreaks pose threat to the trade facilitation, livelihood, food nutrition security, ecosystem health, and public health. Also, indiscriminate use of antibiotics in aquaculture constitutes a major driver to the antimicrobial resistance, that's AMR. In addition, climate change also threatens aquaculture in Nigeria. Therefore, the development of a comprehensive aquatic animal health strategy plan to address some of these challenges in the aquatic sector is necessary to promote a roadmap for improved and safety of fish and fishery products in Nigeria.
Chief Veterinary Officer of Nigeria, Dr. Kulumba Teru Vakuru, who gave the opening remarks during the launch, said aquatic health is a matter of national importance as Nigeria has abundance of aquatic resources contributing to its economy, but the potential has not been effectively tapped. Kulumba added that the strategy would focus on enhancing surveillance, early detection systems, as well as prioritizing the implementation of robust biosecurity measures.
This strategy aims to prevent and control and manage diseases in our aquatic animals through a systematic, holistic, and sustainable approach. This approach has many advantages. Firstly, the strategy will focus on enhancing surveillance and early detection systems by strengthening our monitoring capabilities. We can swiftly identify and respond to diseases, especially the outbreaks in aquatic species, on time to minimize their impact on our aquatic resources. As you are aware, early detection is key to preventing the spread of diseases and mitigating the economic and environmental consequences associated.
We are glad that
There was also an outpouring of goodwill messages from various stakeholders during the event. In another development, the Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security has donated 50,000 doses of anthrax vaccines to the Lagos State government to help curb the spread of anthrax diseases to animals and humans and to ensure safety of the livestock subsector. Speaking at the ceremony in Lagos, the Permanent Secretary, Dr. Ernest Afolabi Umakihe, who was represented by the Deputy Director of Veterinary and Pest Control, said the donation would fast-track vaccination of animals against anthrax disease and ensure that butchers sell healthy meat, as well as safeguarding the livestock subsector. He emphasized the need for vigilance and surveillance to avoid the spread of anthrax.
Activate our surveillance and it's effective, then we'll be picking the cases very early, and that will also stop the spread of it. So let's not also relax. There is no room for complacency. We have not seen cases, but when we leave that, the cases are born. So we have to open our eyes, tell everybody in charge to make sure that the case do the right things.
In her remarks, Ibironke Emopaye, the Permanent Secretary, Lagos State Minister of Agriculture, appreciated the federal government for its support in curtailing the spread of anthrax diseases in the state. She disclosed that vaccinations have begun in the state and that surveillance and biosecurity have been set up at points of entry of abattoirs to detect any ailing animal.
And Mr. Governor has also approved that we get more vaccines. And then also I instigate of the we also set up our own EUC.
While on a sensitization visit to Okpa Cattle Market and Abattoir in Agege, the chairman Mieti Allah Cattle Association, Alhaji Abdullahi Laliga, pledged the commitment of cattle merchants towards the fight against the disease. He affirmed that they are aware of the disease and would ensure adherence to safety measures, promising to give all necessary support to ensure that the disease is curtailed.
In 2015, the federal government placed a ban on the importation of rice through land borders, while imposing 17% tariffs on importation of rice through the ports. The ban is still in force. The government since then has rolled out policies and programs to enhance local production of rice to meet the demand of Nigerians and also step up efforts towards placing Nigeria on the map of rice exporting countries. But then, what is the present capacity of Nigerian rice production? How important is rice as a crop? And what are other policies and programs of government towards boosting the production of rice in Nigeria? Answers to these questions will be the focus of our next segment as we check the records of the Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security. Do stay tuned.
According to Food and Agriculture Organization, rice is the most important staple food for about half of human race and is widely consumed in Nigeria. It is rich in carbohydrate and it aids digestion and also decreases the level of cholesterol in the body. However, production of rice in Nigeria is confronted with many challenges such as low yield per hectare, poor farm mechanization, high cost of production, funding, lack of farm inputs, lack of storage facilities, low extension services, amongst others. Amidst these challenges, rice production in Nigeria in 2015 was 5.5 million metric tons. It increased drastically as a result of the policies and programs of the federal government and the effort of rice farmers, among other stakeholders, in addressing the challenges.
Our current production in terms of meal supply now, in terms of meal rice, is around 6.5 to 7 million metric tons per annum. And what we can able to produce locally is around 5.7 billion metric tons per annum, leaving a gap of 1.7 million metric tons. Do you get it? So there's a supply demand gap of 1.7 million metric tons.
Rice is cultivated in almost 29 out of 36 states in Nigeria. Of this number, 8 states contribute 50% of the total rice produced in the country. In 2022, Kebbi State produced 3.5 million metric tons of rice, Jigawa State 2.1 million metric tons, Kano State 1.6 million metric tons, Ebonyi State 1.5 million metric tons, Benue State 1.5 million metric tons, Ekiti State 1.5 million metric tons, Kaduna State 634,410 metric tons, Niger State 380,000 metric tons, Cross River State 50,000 metric tons, while Ogun State produced 20,000 metric tons. This growth is through the support of the Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development and other stakeholders in the rice subsector.
Over the years, we are really in short of rice production. But from 2014, 15, 2016 precisely, there was a deliberate effort by government to see how we can increase our production. As I'm talking to you now, we produce about 60% of our internal consumption. The 40% is something we are working towards achieving in the next 10 years. But I believe with the effort of government now, there is tendency we can achieve it in less than 10 years. So the remaining 40% is what is coming in and out from different sources.
The programs and policy direction of government towards addressing the challenges in rice production in Nigeria include a ban on importation of rice, development of high-yielding rice varieties, distribution of farm inputs, developing more land for rice farming, promotion of dry season farming, capacity building for farmers, national agricultural technology and innovation policy, strategic document to make Nigeria rice competitive, Anchor Borrower Scheme, among others. The ban on the importation of rice into the country has encouraged rice farmers to produce more rice because there is a ready market for the product as the government moves towards producing what we eat and eat what we produce.
It has impacted positively, as I said earlier on. Number one, there's a decrease. There's a decrease in the quantum of rice being imported into the country. Do you get it? Which is a fact. And before, we were importing almost all our requirement of rice into the country. Do you get it? From especially Asian countries. That quantum of importation has now decreased drastically. Do you get it? Secondly, there's a reduction in the amount of the foreign deflation of our foreign exchange. Do you get it? That's a reduction. Because why? Because for us to import, we need to what? We need to use our hard-earned dollar, isn't it, to import. So there's a significant reduction in the amount of what use of our foreign exchange. Thirdly, I could say that there's an increase in the quantity of the rice consumed locally. Do you get it? And also there's an increase in the amount of the meal rice produced locally.
The National Cereals Research Institute Badegi in Niger State has also developed high-yielding varieties, drought and flood-tolerant varieties. The Federal Ministry of Agriculture supports these research breakthroughs.
The National Cereal Research Institute in Badegi has the sole mandate of genetic improvement and development of rice. So far, they have developed different varieties, particularly the Faro 44, which is drought tolerant, and then pest tolerant and high yielding. Then you have also the Faro 67, Faro 65, which are flood resistant. In fact, that one can be in water for about 14 days. The moment the water recedes, you can harvest it. So flood doesn't really affect that kind of crop.
In an effort to enhance rice production in Nigeria, the Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development also has a yearly program to distribute farm inputs, such as agrochemical and improved varieties of rice seed to rice farmers, as well as provide extension services across the country.
For instance, when you know about the bulk of our production in the country, 70% of our farmers are what? Are smallholder farmers. Do you get it? So they are not a very large merchant. Do you get it? Who are involved in this activity? They are smallholder farmers who usually cultivate 1.5 hectare of land. Do you get it? For this crop. And government, the ministry, what is doing now is to provide input support to these farmers in gracious, free of charge. We give them seeds. We give them seed. We give them also input support in terms of soil amendments and other organic fertilizer. Do you get it? In order for them to be able to beef up their production.
The Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development has also designed a policy document called National Agricultural Technology and Innovation Policy, which also gives priority to rice among other crops.
Rice is a staple food in this country now, and the Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development has the National Agricultural Technology and Innovation Plan, which has to do with all the plans of the Federal Ministry of Agriculture, be it crops, livestock, and fisheries. This plan is for 2022 to 2032. It is a plan, a comprehensive plan that we want to know where we are, where we want to go, and how do we get there.
Also, in an effort to enhance production of rice to meet local demand and export, as well as job creation, the Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development has also designed and launched the National Rice Development Strategy 2, which will run between 2022 to 2030. This policy consolidates the National Rice Development Strategy 1, which has recorded tremendous successes in the area of development of database of rice farmers, promotion of rice farmer clusters, incentive on agricultural lending, strengthening of rice seed development and production, introduction of 0% tax on importation of rice equipment, establishment of cottage rice mills across the country, among other things.
What we're trying to now say, especially through our second national rice development strategy, is what is we are going to achieve all our target through what we call RICE, RICE. That's resiliency. Do you get it? Innovation, competitiveness, and empowerment. So, in essence, what we're trying to say, we're not trying to be a beggar, so to say. We want to compete in terms of what? In terms of quality. Do you get it? So what I'm trying to understand to see here is that our millers now in Nigeria, they can produce an excellent quality mill rice.
We have a lot of these things that we are selling at highly subsidized rates. So farmers normally apply and we give them this kind of inputs, be it seed or the equipment that will help them in the rice production, in processing, harvesting, and what have you. So these are areas we are doing to see that we are supporting these farmers, either in clusters or as individuals.
The program is transforming agriculture in Nigeria, and we have been discussing the potentials of Nigeria in rice production, programs and policies of government to enhance rice production in the country. In the course of producing this program, our crew visited a rice-producing community in Oziza, a town in Afikpo North local government area of Ebonyi State. Our interaction with the local farmers took note of their livelihood as rice farmers, their challenges, and what they would want government to do to increase their productivity. Let's listen to them.
Ebonyi State is one of the 8 states contributing to the production of 50% of all the rice produced in Nigeria. In 2022, Ebonyi contributed 1.5 million tons of rice to the Nigerian market. One thing that stands out in rice farming in Ebonyi State is the production of the popular Abakaliki rice, renowned for its taste and nutritional value. Ebonyi State is agrarian with most families engaged in farming. This is a rice farm in Oziza, Afikpo North local government area. Nwori Cecilia is one of the many rice farmers in this community. She speaks on the reason why she embraced rice farming.
I use the money I got from the rice to train my children. Not only training my children, I use it to help my husband and even help my neighbors and even build myself. The house where I'm living is from what I get from this rice.
Other farmers like Cecilia said they went into rice farming because it is one crop that is guaranteed to sell in the market, giving them the much needed cash to sustain their families.
I choose to plant rice because rice is cash crop. In this part of globe, it is the crop that can give us money more than every other crop.
My benefit in rice production is that I've been able to use it to be training my children in the schools. Unlike now, I have 3 undergraduates and others in secondary school, nursery school, and it has been helping me to be taking care of the family.
The reason why I love doing rice farming work, number one, I benefit from it. I make money from it. It makes me have enough food, and it helped me to embark in other businesses.
Chairman of the Rice Farmers Association of Nigeria, Ebonyi State Chapter, reiterates this fact when he spoke about Ebonyi State being known for its rice farming potentials.
Ebonyi is noted as a rice producing farmers. Ebonyi is noted than other crops. We have about 40,000 members. My members contribute by going to farm to plant rice. As we see it, every family has a plot of rice farming because it gives them money.
In spite of the huge potentials of rice farming in the state, as well as the willingness of the farmers to engage in this business, various challenges hinder their productivity, top of which is funding and lack of mechanization. Outlining these challenges, Cecilia and other farmers call for the assistance of government at all levels.
I don't have money to go and get tractors. I don't have tractor. So, and I'm also in need of that tractor. If government can provide tractor for me.
In this part of globe, the challenges we have is, we are using manpower. And in this manpower, we don't have tractor. Even in this manpower, we don't have money. We come to chemicals, we don't have money to buy chemicals. And when we are hiring laborers, sometimes the women and the men who are working will become weak. And it made us, we are not unable to get what we want from the swamp.
The potentials of Ebonyi State for rice production has benefited from improved seedlings developed by research institutes and which give farmers different options and yield. This potential can be further enhanced by irrigation farming, as these farmers testify.
Yes, we have enough of them, which we have tested in this part of globe. Sometimes we do plant at one season, which is rainy season alone. But there was a time we tested by using the means of irrigation. We found out that we may even get more yield in that irrigation than during the rainy season. Okay. But the issue is that no manpower, as I said.
the types of rice we plant here, we have our mass, we have akujie, we have Fero 52. In that, our mass, the mass used to stay 6 months, and why we use that one is because of the weather or the topography of the place we are planting. So we used to plant it by June, targeting to harvest it by October ending or November.
A newspaper report on the celebration of the World's Food Day 2021 in the state quoted the Commissioner of Agriculture in the state then, putting rice production from Ebonyi State at 4 million metric tons. For the Secretary General of the Rice Farmers Association in the state, Ebonyi can do more with the help and support of the federal and state governments.
The rice farmers in Ebonyi State are doing their best, but the economy does not allow us to strive the way we're supposed this season. We're appealing to federal government and state government as well to come to the aid of farmers in Ebonyi State by giving us what will make us easy to produce and make land available for the rice farmers in Ebonyi State.
Thanks for joining us again on the program Transforming Agriculture.
Do you have any question about the agricultural sector?
You have crossbreeds that are fast growing.
The anti-insectic poverty as well is also very... Do you have inquiries on any issues raised on the program?
The fish has been kept here since Monday, that's about 2 days ago.
Would you like to know more on agricultural processes and practice? Do send us an SMS to the number showing on your screen. You can also reach us on any of our social media platforms for more information.
Indeed, Nigeria has a huge potential in rice production, and the doors are open for investors through friendly policies and program of government for investors to invest in the subsector. This is the much we can take on this episode of the program Transforming Agriculture in Nigeria. Join us again, same time, same station next week. I'm Gabriel Ojile. Bye for now.